everybody, we're Chris and Wendy from Meeple Overboard.
And today we're doing a playthrough video of...
Cloud City!
Yes, no Lando Calrissian in this Cloud City. This is the Phil Walker hardening design coming up by Blue Orange Games, and the art is by Fabrice, R-O-S. What does the R-O-S stand for? Nobody knows.
Return on sender?
Return on sender. Fabrice, return on sender. So let's go ahead and take a look at the table here.
Very nice.
This is what we're looking at. This is a game with tiles, a tile-laying game. You lay tiles as part of the game.
You also lay these nice little buildings on your tiles.
You'll notice that they're three-dimensional. They stack up high, and there's three different heights. The blue are the shortest, green's the middlest, and then brown are the tallest.
Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking these tiles over here, which we actually have some in our hand already, and we're going to be laying them out, and we're going to be making connections with these nice little connector things. Obviously, I don't have any tiles underneath this to show you, but eventually stuff like this will happen.
Yep. And because they're multi-level, quite like a marketing scam, you will be able to build green over blues with browns over all of them and stuff. So it's like a multi-layer multi-layer bridging scheme.
Monorails on monorails on monorails.
Yes, if you played the Barron Park expansion Bad News Bears, which is one of the greatest named expansions of all time, also by Phil Walker Harding, you'll kind of have an idea of, yes, like monorail, you want things to connect across. So with our opening tiles here, already selected by first player and second player, we'll go ahead and put out our starting buildings, and then we'll be building out from here.
Take a look at our hands. Sneaky, sneaky, don't look at the screen and see my hand.
Don't look.
Oh, no.
Don't look. These are my tiles. So there's only 3 colors of spaces. Every tile has exactly 2 spaces of what could possibly be built next to it. And you have to lay out a tile orthogonally, or up, down, left, or right, to any previously laid tiles.
We're also making a 3x3 grid. As soon as that 3x3 grid is done, game is over. We count up points based on the numbers on our routes. Let's see, where's that camera? Here we go.
Yeah, so maybe that'd be easier to see overhead. I don't think we have the autofocus. So that's an 8-point route. This is a 2-point route, and then a 1-point route. So obviously there's lots of, there's more reward, there's more bang for making a bigger buck. That's a dumb way of saying it.
We also have some special scoring objectives. These change every game, and they're an optional variant that adds a little bit extra. This is an extra 3 points for every complete square route that you have here, kind of like a unit circle thing.
I think the rulebook calls it like a circuit. Every time you make a circuit of the same color type.
Makes sense. And then this, you lose 4 points for each one of these you don't succeed at.
Or if you do not have
all of these
all
things.
of them, yeah.
So you have to have at least 5 3-length tiles, 1 5-length, and 1 8-length.
And they're technically not like length because there's no 8 length, so to speak, or whatever, but yeah, the points. So you
Point
have
value.
to have 5 3s, a 5, and an 8. So that's gonna put a little hinker
Interesting.
in combining it with this. So we'll see what happens here. And a circuit, by the way, doesn't have to be a complete square. It can like jut out kind of weird directions and stuff. So Wendy, you're the first player.
I am the first player.
Let's build some bridges.
Building bridges. Let's not burn those bridges. Let's just build them. So the option in this game is to build your connections as soon as you place them, or you can build them later on a different turn, but you have to build them on your turn. And they're limited. In a 2-player game, you don't really feel that limit. But in larger games, I'm sure you do. So I can place a 3 here, and I could place a 1 here. But if I do so, you can only ever have 2 connections per building. So I definitely want to get my 3s done. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll kind of see what happens with those single buildings down there.
Very interesting. Yep, so you always lay a tile, place out the buildings, optionally build your bridges. And then lastly, you drop a new tile, either from face up or from the top of the stack. And that's a turn. Like, that's all you do on a turn. Very simple. And Wendy didn't build this one over here, in part because one other important rule on connections is that each building itself can only be privy to 2 connections. There can only be 2 connections coming out of it. So you can't have a T, as nice as that would be sometimes. So I'm going to make a play quite similar, I think, actually, to Wendy's here. I'm going to lay out a green and a blue, because this blue will provide me a 3-length. Yoink. And so then what I am going to take the 1 point green, methinks.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, on my turn, blue and green is good. Blue and green's kind of what I'm going for, so I bet I can make this work here in the future. So I'm going to draw that one. Fill her up.
Fill her up, Buttercup. Just to let her down. That would be so sad. Don't let her down. I'm going to place this one here.
What you gonna do?
I have no idea what I'm going to do. But that is not a 3 length. It is actually a 2 length.
If you build it up that way, yes.
I think that's what I want.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I also placed this one.
You obviously can't build off of something that there isn't a connection for. Alrighty, so are you good there? You're going to draw up a tile, I suppose.
Draw up a tile. Ooh, what do I want? Do-do-do-do-do.
You always have a hand of 3 tiles to pick from each turn, even though you draw a new one. So there's some potential to hate draft here. Be like, Chris really wanted this tile. I'll yoink it from him.
Yeah, I want this one. Okay, done.
Maybe Chris really wanted that tile. Just kidding.
Maybe you did.
Maybe. All right. So my turn, I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out. So I get a blue here, and then I'll get a green here.
Very nice.
And so that is a blue 2-lengther. And then I'll take a green 3. So I need 5 of these? Good golly.
Yeah, that's a lot of 3 lengths.
Uh,
Sorry, you're going to grab yours.
Do I want that one? Because it's not as convenient as the other one. I kind of want it to go the opposite direction. Ooh, baby, check it and see. I think I'm going to just draw off the top and see what I get. Interesting. All right. So, because this is a very 3-dimensional game, I think we've got this camera set up here so that you should be able to actually take a quick look and see that, like, kind of how this works, right? With the greens overlaying the blues and stuff, which is just a really fun aspect of this game. So let me switch it back before people get too nauseated. Just kind of wanted to show that off.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to place this one over here. And I got my 8 length done.
Oh.
Bum, 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 bum. Look at that.
Very nice.
And I think I want this one. That one seems nice.
It seems nice and will suffice. Is that what you're saying?
I think it will. And I'm going to go ahead and do this single one here. I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
What a cool looking weird little cityscape you got going on now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Looks like a bridge over troubled waters.
Yep. How they should write a song about? Oh, you know what? Simon and Garfunkel already did.
They did.
They did, and it was called "I Am a Rock, I Am an Island." I'm sorry. That's like one of my favorite types of jokes to make. It's just like the obviously wrong musical reference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big fan. Oh boy.
Decisions.
Decisions. If I do this, these are both blue. Maybe I can make a blue circuit underlying a green circuit above it. That'd be really cool because each circuit is 3 points. But I also have to figure out how in the doozy am I going to do this thing. Whereas if I do something like this, see if I do kind of what Wendy did there with this guy, I'd be able to make a man.
I think this getting 5 of these 3s is going to be where I struggle. I'm going to get a circuit or 2.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to get 5 of those.
I should not focus on that. Is a perhaps-y, a doozle. Because yeah, getting so many 3s is going to be tough.
Yeah, because I currently can get 3 of them, but I'm not sure how to get any more than 3. So
if I get this bad boy, I can build out there. This is a fantastic dilemma that I feel myself being locked into. I mean, and the other thing is I could always just say, "Meh, whatever." Like 4 points is 4 points. So I could just build some really great other routes. Like that's still good.
That is true.
I see myself building a lot more twos than threes, kind of with the way that things are set up. Now the other thing is, if I do this right here, I could build a 3-length green right here and complete a circuit. So that would be 3 threes down. But then the question is, where in the dickens would I build an 8? I would need a yeah. Maybe I need to try and set myself up better. Oof. Big oof. You know what? Let's try this. I'm kind of gambling that I might get the tile that I would like. But hey, greater things have happened.
All right, my turn? Nope, you're grabbing your tile still.
And I have to grab my tile still, indeed. So... probably this one. Now, the other little rule is you can't build a bridge over an area where there's, like, an empty square. So I can't, like, put something over here or do this, then this, and build a bridge across emptiness. Not allowed.
Yep. All right, now it's officially my turn. I'm going to go here. And I'll take a blue and a green. And this will give me another 3-length. And a 2.
I'll get another 3-length. Fine.
And I made a circuit, y'all. Look at that.
Wow, you did.
It's like a little pond. It's like a little lake.
That is actually really adorable. Let's see if we can get the camera to view that properly.
See my little lake over here, and these are my trees.
Oh.
Growing next to the lake.
How nice. It definitely looks a little bit better than this little mess going on right here. So
yours looks like a freeway. Like a on-ramp spaghetti bowl kind of freeway thing.
Yeah, not the good kind of freeway. I understand what you mean, Wendy. I know what you're going for. This blue...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't grab a tile.
Oh, you're right. Yes. That might affect what I'm going to do.
It might affect what you're going to do. I'm going to take this one.
And I will reveal the exact tile that I want most. No! All right. Alrighty then. I would like to ultimately do that. So the question is, how do I get there? Because if I were able to make this unobstructed, then I would be able to maybe make this a 5-length and this one a there's something going on here. The gears are ticking up here, and I'm a little stressed, but whatever. Because maybe I'll do this in the future. Because I think I'll do. Yeah, I want to bank with what I've got rather than stress about what I've not. So I'm going to build 2 blue towers here and here. Now, because this tower right here already has 2 connections off of it, I cannot build that connection. But I will build another 3-point blue route right here. Oh, wow. Right there. This is not actually a dexterity game, but sometimes.
Sometimes it feels like it is.
Yeah.
That is fair.
I think that's all I can pull off. And...
Did you get the tile you wanted?
Perchance.
Perchance. All right, I'm going to place this one here, which will give me another 3. Well, I have to put my buildings out first.
One might hope for that, yes.
And, what do I want?
I have 3 of my 3s out. This one, and that one. I'd like to not lose 4 points, especially if Wendy is not going to lose 4 points.
Here goes that. I think Wendy is not going to lose 4 points. Wendy's also deciding what she's going to do with everything.
Wendy's deciding what she will lose instead.
Essentially. I'm unsure what to do with this. If I do that? No, it has to be like that, which means I need a green. I think I need a green. Okay.
Ooh. This is where it starts getting kind of tense for me.
So there are different. There's some very different ones of these scoring objectives. Some of them say you get points if you have the most of a certain color building, or if you have no towers that don't have anything connected, or like you get negative points per tower that's not connected to anything, and so you really have to plan those out.
Yeah, for sure. So I am gonna grab an 8.
Woohoo! You got your 8.
I did get my 8. 8 is great. And so, okay.
8 is great and will suffocate.
It is great and will suffocate. That's not pleasant. That's not very pleasant sounding.
Oh.
I think I have to draw one off the top and just hope and pray. Yeah.
I'm not sure I can get my last 3. I'm very unsure about that.
Okay.
All right, my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to play this one. I will have a blue tower that is nothing, but it'll give me another 3.
Ooh.
So I'm at 4 3s now and an 8.
Ooh, I like seeing you build underneath that. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty fancy. And that blue's just going to sit there aimlessly.
Yeah, I've got a...
and sorry, this is my 5. So I'm just short of 3. I have everything else I need except one of the 3s.
Oh, that's right, you do... I still do need a 5. All right, draw your tile, madam.
Pondering. What is the...
What is love?
So the 3s they have to be the opposite side of each other, right?
Yeah, one tile apart, opposite sides of that tile.
Just gonna pull one off the top.
Oh man, I wanted you to be able to reveal the perfect tile to me.
Well, you didn't reveal the perfect tile to me. This is the problem.
Well, fine then.
Which is funny because we would have just gotten the tiles we got, but...
All right. Oof. Big oof, as they say. Oh boy. It's so close I can almost taste it. What is it that I can taste? I'm not entirely sure, but I think I might be able to get the right length of wraps and everything. So there's some brown getting built up over here. And then I think I have to draw off the top.
All right. I think I've got everything I need. I mean, I think I already had everything that I need. I just wanted something fancier. But
Your tiles are a little misaligned there.
oh, are they?
Wait. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So I got my last 3, so I've officially done it. Bum, 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 bum.
I have 4 3s and I have an 8, but I don't have a 5.
I have 2 8s. Where's that last 8? 2 8s, 5 3s. So I think I'm okay. Oh, I technically can't place this one because this isn't down there yet.
Oh, that is correct. Good catch.
I will be able to, but yes.
Our cities are taking a very weird shape, and I like it. This pains me. I need a 5 and I need a 3. And so I'm certainly afraid. Ooh, and you're going to have... Your blue is a complete circuit down below there. Mm-hmm. There's no way in heck that green is making a circuit.
But this is going to make a complete circuit.
The brown's going to make a circuit, so yeah. Oof. I just don't think I drew the exact tile that I need. I need a...
I just realized I thought I needed one more 3, which is why I drew off the top. Even though I said I didn't, this one would have been perfect.
Oh.
Because I could have connected the blue and the green.
Oops.
It's all good.
So this is my debate. Oof. If I build this, that gives me my last 3 and completes...
A second circuit?
It completes 1 circuit because I got nothing
Oh,
so
your
far.
blues didn't go?
No, my blues are discontinuous at the moment. That doesn't do me good. Or I could just say to heck with it and like have a mega series of browns going around the outside.
Around the outside?
Around the outside.
I say finish your 3s because it's worth more points.
It's worth more points, but I could have an 8 and an 8 and a 2.
There's no more eight. Well, okay.
Oh, yeah, how
There's
many?
one 8 left.
Oh, there's only one 8 left.
So you'd have to get it this round.
So I could, if I laid this, I would be able to get the 8 here, but oh, that's a good point. Because then I wouldn't be able to get this 8 across here if I laid this one across in the future. I would... Oh, no. Oh, I might be kicking myself so bad depending on the tile that I draw next. Oh no. Yeah, because the only problem here is if I do this, I still can't build a 5-length route anywhere. So, you know what? Let's try this.
You'll prevent me from getting an 8.
If I really wish that you would revealed a new tile so I could tell what was going to happen. Oh, that's true. If I could play the keep away game. So, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. I'll play the kind of safe route here. So I get to draw this 8 and build it across. Ergo, you don't get to build it, but then you get, if you have a brown, then you can throw down some smaller brown tracks along the way. Oh no, that's not the exact one I needed. I needed brown then green, and that would have been perfect to complete the circuit and everything. Anyway, so okay. There we go. So it's to you now.
All right. Then I luckily have this one right here, which I'm going to put just like so.
All right. There you go.
And I'm okay anyways. So what is this? Another 3. And a 2. And another 3. Okay, I have way more 3s than necessary. I was worried I wouldn't have enough, but...
Good golly, look at your city. It's really, like, your city is really clean there.
It's fancy.
It's fancy. I like this from all angles.
There's only 2 buildings that don't have attachments.
Wow. That's slick. That's pretty slick, Rick. Whereas my city is a nightmarescape. You remember in Batman Begins, like that really terrible part of town no one likes living in? That's what mine is.
The docks? No, they didn't call it the docks. What did they call it?
The Narrows?
Narrows, there you go.
So here's my debate. If I do this, I'll be able to build a 5 and a 5. I won't complete a circuit, but I still wouldn't even be able to complete a circuit, even if I did this. Right? I would get another 3, but I don't. But I got the. If I get the towers out, there's. Yeah, this game didn't quite work for me, so let's do.
You got a lot of browns at the end, though.
I did get a lot of browns.
Surprised at how many brown buildings you got.
Just not quite the right combo that I needed. So a 5 there, and then a 5 here to build over that, and then, you know, for good measure, just this 1, because that's almost good enough to be a circuit, but not quite. So yeah, my city a little bit more sad than Wendy's.
All right, so there's one thing I want to point out with mine. Can you get an overhead of this?
Sure. You want
Okay.
a close up of yours?
Yep. So if you look right here, there's a single building and there's a connection over here, but you can never cross the same level of tracks. So these buildings cannot connect because there's this track in between.
Yeah, it would be like crashing into other pieces.
Yeah.
Though I could see maybe an expansion having like a T piece or something like that. Like that'd be interesting. But yeah, so I do look like I have a monorail that like is the most pointless monorail ever built in existence. Kind of like the monorail that they built in Las Vegas, which connects to all the casinos but not to the airport. So.
Yep. That was because of cab companies.
Taxi cab authority, I guess, said, "Hey, how about you don't ruin our industry?" And, all right, so we get to score up points now. So you get points for everything built up in your thing, and then also Wendy won because I completed 0 circuits and I did not meet this thing here.
All right, well, let's go ahead and count them up then.
Count them up.
So I have 6 plus 0.
And I start at -4 before we go into the actual routes built up here.
All right, so we can go and take them off as we count them.
Sure, go for it.
So 6 plus 8 is 13.
No.
Nope, 6 plus 8 is 14. Already messed up. Already failed life. Plus 3 is 16.
Nope.
What? Oh, I'm still counting 13.
So you're at 17.
20. Okay. Are we officially correct
We're,
now?
we're good now, yeah.
Okay, 23, 25, 28, 29, 30,
I have no shame in using a calculator.
33, 36, 37, 40,
A.
45, 47. Ta-da.
Okay.
The rest of my math was right.
So starting at -6, -1, 7. So
Wait,
was it 15?
you were only -4, not -6.
Oh, wow. Look at us mathing so well here. So 1 plus, so that puts me up to +1 plus 16 is 17, 20, 21, 26, and then 26 plus 4, a 3 and a 1. So that puts me up at 30, 32, 35, 37, 40, 43.
What was
Wow.
mine?
You're at 47, I think.
Okay.
So wow, literally like one of the, like yeah, if I were to have completed 2 circuits, that could have made the difference.
I mean, you got
If I
those
hadn't-
those 2 8s, and those are huge points.
That's true. That's true. Like kind of liberating myself from worrying about this thing and eating the 4 points, but being able to do something else.
And you definitely
was
kept
pretty
that
nifty.
from me, so
That's true. I kept 8 points from you. You had to build here a.
a 3 and a 2, so I only got 5 instead of 8.
That's a 3-point differential. That's big. So I mean, little things like that worked out in my favor. Plus the possibility that you miscounted. Maybe you had 57. We've done that before on video where we've been like adding up a score and be like, whew, I just barely won. And then really it's because I forgot to like carry a 10 one time. So I think that you won handily.
I think my math
regardless.
was perfect from the start.
Perfect from the start. Just like my -17 that I started myself with,
Yes,
the handicap,
yes.
if you will. So that's Cloud City. Super, super interesting little puzzle to build up.
How do you feel about it as a game?
It's funny. So by Blue Orange, so instantly I'm going to compare it to another like family friendly, weight easygoing tile laying game called King Domino, right? And the thing with King Domino is that there's a little bit more of a game to it, like as a game, so to speak. So I no need to change views. Like the tile market here, you just draw a tile at the end of your turn. Whereas King Domino has like that really interesting
Like bidding for stuff.
yeah. If you get this tile, you go first. And there's no inherently better or worse tile in this game, so obviously the King Domino system wouldn't work. Just that King Domino has that like turn order, action selection, tile selection thing to it.
Except that I would argue that the tall pieces are just more beneficial than the lower pieces because you can always cross things. You can get the greater distance with the browns than you can with the other ones. But also, like you saw, once they run out, they run out. So if everyone's going for browns and trying to get like 4 8s all in the corners, like it's not going to work.
Actually, there's only 3 8s in the game, so even if I had done like an all 4 corners type thing, I realized like, oh, that wouldn't work. I would have to have one of these in the way. So I'd have maybe 3 8s, then do like what you did with 3 and the 2 or something like that. So.
So yeah, I think I agree with you with that idea that it doesn't feel as much like a game. Like I feel like there's elements of that, and I think that I would feel it more if I were playing with more people.
And that could be it too. Now, one of the things is that there is a 2 and 3 player variant where you build an extra column, right? Or column or row. Your city
4 by
becomes
3.
a 4 by 3 rather than a 3 by 3. And I think that would add a ton of interesting possibility to increase a little bit more of that tension in a 2-player game like this. So I would like to try that. So far we haven't tried that yet. But I gotta say, so like when I say it feels a little less gamey than like King Domino, that's not a diss because King Domino has a ton of game in a little teeny box. So this one gamifies it differently. You're encouraged to build the different like the routes and keep things from each other and that type of stuff. I really like the puzzle in this a ton.
I think that's the thing is like we both love puzzle games, things where you're really manipulating stuff and you're trying to create design shapes, meet certain objectives. Barren Park, which is another Phil Walker Harding game, does a lot of that. And so this is almost like a simpler, less AP inclined game version of Barren Park is kind of what I think of.
Unless you're like me and you talk out like everything going on your turn for like a video's sake, right? So this was a little bit slower than like we could have pounded this out in like probably like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So I love the puzzle. I love the 3-dimensional layer of the puzzle. You know what I mean? The fact that you build this thing here and then you can build this thing over it. Like that's incredibly satisfying to me on this very toyetic level.
And I think we talk about satisfying things like the end game cities that we built are fun to look at and they're fun to like I created my little pond with my trees and my bridges. Other games we've played, it's looked like freeways cutting through freeways, or sometimes Chris's look like he's got like sky-rise like circles, and it's fun to create those stories through the pictures of what you're building.
Yeah, this is my city. Now, the game comes with 10 of those objective cards, which I think that this is, so to be honest, right, we haven't played it without these, because otherwise you're just kind of building up a city. So these add a lot of tension. Like, what am I going to do? Obviously, that kind of make it or break it this game for me was I wasn't able to fulfill those as well as Wendy. So that 4-point loss was the difference, right? So there's 10 of these, and I would say that just like Barren Park, one of my few tiny criticisms or complaints is that a lot of these are super interesting, but then there's also, if you have the most green or blue buildings,
Yeah.
which to me is a less interesting objective. You know, having the most blue buildings doesn't feel like an accomplishment. It kind of feels like, oh, the tiles worked out for me. Now, knowing that blue buildings are harder to work with because the taller buildings get in the way, this does make more sense. The green buildings, yeah, take it or leave it. So
it has its place.
That's kind of my only real criticism is that these are less interesting objectives. So when I turn one over when I'm playing, I'm like, how about a different objective?
So let's explain what a couple of these are, because these are really interesting. So this one right here says that every building has to be connected to, otherwise you lose 2 points. That's something I referenced earlier. So when I was missing this blue building and this green building over here, I would have had -4 points at the end of the game, which is equivalent to this.
That's fair. And I had this one blue building sitting here, right? Obviously, like in nowhere land. And so that would have lost me 2 points, right? And so I like that dynamic. This one is every crossing that you have like this, where there's a higher level over lower levels, is -2 points, which is so bizarre because that seems like the joy of the game, but all of a sudden you have a game with a different setup where like that's the issue that you want to avoid.
And like doing
Super
the
smart.
circles are just a very, like, it's such a unique feel. Like I have to make circles, I have to make round connections. What do you call these? What's the word?
Circuits.
Circuits. There you go. I have to make circuits, I have to connect everything, which is very different than not connecting stuff.
Yeah. So this one, I'm trying to remember what this one is just whoever has the longest single series, I think, is it gets the 6 points. This one you have to have in a single series of tubes or whatever, at least 4 different lengths to get 6 points, or at least 5 different lengths, i.e. all of them, to get an 8-point bonus. So stuff like that, like, I love those so much. So much so that when I look at this come out, I'm like, whoever has the most blue buildings? Oh, okay.
Not as exciting. But
Yeah.
luckily you have 2 things. It's not you're gonna have both of these at the same time.
That's actually an advanced variant in the rulebook. So the basic version you play with none. In the advanced variant you play with 1 of these at a time, and in the advanced variant you play with 2 at a time, which is definitely that's my go-to.
That's your comfort level.
Yeah.
And the advanced 2-player version, you play with the extra column.
Which I think would make this one easier to do.
I think so. But also, there's no length that would fit from one corner to another.
So you'd have to be careful not to overdo yourself.
Yeah, make something too large.
Yeah. So overall, this is an incredibly fun little puzzle. It's an incredibly beautiful presentation. I love games where at the end of it you get to say like, "Look what I've made," and I lost. But guess what? My city was dope. Who cares? It looked great. It was a ton of fun.
It was. I also like knocking them over afterwards because I'm still a 5-year-old.
That's true. Every game that we played, Wendy's been like, "I win."
Yeah, I won them all. I've not won them all. I think Chris
No.
won the first one.
Yeah, I won the first one, and you have won since then.
So I said, I lost.
So I mean, it's just cool. This is just a very neat little game. It does feel like that next step, another layer added, pun intended, to the Barren Park monorail expansion where you have to like add them around and stuff. So
I would say that the box is bigger than I expected for such a simple game, because it is simple and it is a full-size box. But obviously you have to fit a lot of these pieces in there, and it needs the box.
now it is a little bit more narrow and a little bit smaller than like a Ticket to Ride box. Like Ticket to Ride, I feel like is kind of the industry like
Standard.
average,
Yeah.
like standard, like mid-size. So this is like a little bit tinier, but like I said, like King Domino is like, you know, a lot smaller and has a different game to it, whereas this one is less of a game, so to speak, and more of the puzzle of it, which I enjoy. So if you know that going into it, I think that you'll have a ton of fun playing Cloud City.
I think you will. We're Meeple Overboard. Thanks for watching.